Exactly. That's all you have to write. You don't have to do anything. Is this function continuous? I don't know. I have to calculate. I have to calculate the limit from the left. I have to calculate the limit from the right. And I have to calculate the function value. So let's work on this. Let's copy it. So first of all, f of x, 1/2 x plus 1 for x less than or equal to 2. And I think it's 4x minus 5 for x greater than 2. So if I manage to show that the limit from the left, if I manage to show that the limit as x approaches 2 from the left from 1/2 x plus 1 equals, I don't know, equals the limit as x approaches 2 from the right from 4x minus 5 equals, I don't know, if it equals f of 2, then I will say, yes, it is. If these three are not the same, or one does not exist, or whatever, then I will say, no, it is not continuous at that point. So when I plug in 2 in here, can anyone give us the first limit? And then the second limit? And then f of 2. All have to exist, and they have to be the same number. And these are polynomials, very easy to determine the limit.
So the first one, the limit should be 2.
Yes, because it's 1 plus 1.
And then that one's limit should be 3.
Good. So we don't even have to, I don't care what f of 2 is. I'm not going to waste my time. So I'm going to say, no, it is not. No, it is not continuous at x equals 2. This is a definition of continuity at the point, so it's not. Find the average rate of change. This is an important topic, although this is basic algebra. It's not even calculus. So we have the function f of x equals 1 over x minus 6, and x equals -1, and x equals 4. Good. So first I have to find f of -1. Then I have to find f of 4. F of -1 is -1 over 7. F of 4 is -1 over 2. So the average rate is f of 4 minus f of -1 over 4 minus -1. It's the slope of the line passing through these 2 points. Again, f of 4 minus f of -1 over 4 minus -1. So the least common denominator is 14. So -7 plus 2. So this is -5. So we have -5 over 14 times 1 over 5. So I get -1 over 14. And that is it. So the average rate of change of this function between these 2 points is -1 over 14. Okay, so let's differentiate. Any questions before we continue? So y equals x divided by 2 minus 2 over x. So careful, this is 1/2 when we differentiate, because x over 2 is to be understood like this. minus 2. But remember when we differentiate 1 over x, and we discussed this formula a long time ago, when we differentiate 1 over x, we get negative 1 over x squared. So plus 1 over x squared. And this is it. So x over 2 prime is just 1/2. But negative 2 over x has to be understood like this. And when I differentiate 1 over x, but that gives me negative 1 over x squared, and there is a minus in front. Is this problem clear? Okay. Next one. For this function, find the points on the graph at which the tangent line is horizontal. Horizontal tangent line means slope 0, but I have to find the derivative. So y prime is negative 0.04x minus 0.4. That's y prime. Negative 0.04x minus 0.4. So when y prime equals 0, meaning horizontal tangent, all I have to do is this. Set it equal to 0. Move 0.4 to the other side. And divide. 0.4 over 0.04. And when you multiply both top and bottom by 100, you get 40 divided by 4, which is 10. So x equals negative 10. And remember y was negative 0.02x squared minus 0.4x plus 70. They're asking us find the point, meaning I found x, but I also have to find y. In a test situation, I would not waste my time. I would put this function in the graphing calculator and plug in negative 10 in it. Okay, so go to y equals, clear, 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 go back up, put in the function negative 0.002 x squared, and then minus 0.4 x, and then plus 70. Look at it, make sure it's entered correctly, and then second in table and plug in negative 10, and you get the answer 72. And that's it. Okay, 18. This was 17, 18. Differentiate the function. So we have g of x equals 6x to negative 3, and x to the 4th minus 6x to the 3rd plus 9x minus 5. Personally, I would distribute. I will not use the product rule on this. So 6 x to negative 3 times x to the 4th is x. Negative 36. X to negative 3 times x to the 3rd is 1, because it's x to 0. Plus 54x to negative 2, and minus 30x to negative 3. I would not use the product rule on this, under no circumstances. And now I will differentiate. And now it becomes a piece of cake. I would say. So then G prime equals 6 minus 108x to negative 3 and plus 90x to negative 4. And it's done. Any questions? Differentiate. Here I have no choice. Of course, I'm not going to try anything. I'm just going to use the chain rule. Y equals 3x squared minus 10 to negative 13. Remember the magic words. Times the inner function prime. Negative 13. 3x squared minus 10 to negative 14 times the inner function prime. Times the inner function prime. And I will just rewrite it, multiplying 6 by negative 13. Negative 78x, 3x squared minus 10 to negative 14. You cannot touch the 3x squared minus 10 to the negative 14 because it's the power that dictates and you cannot do anything to it. This is it. Okay, 20. Here I have no choice. I have to use the product rule. This is the first function, and this is the second function. So y prime equals 2x times 4x minus 5 plus x squared times, I have to remember how to differentiate the square root. 1 over 2 the square root times the inner function prime. And I have to simplify. So I will enter it as is. Normally we take it further, but it's okay. So 2x squared over the square root of 4x minus 5. So when we differentiate the square root, we have 1 over 2 the square root times the inner function prime. These are the magic words, times the inner function prime. Okay, the domain of this function, what do we have to write to find the domain of this function? It's a rational function.
To solve the denominator.
Yes,
0.
X squared plus 5x minus 36 does not equal 0. Let's say you forgot how to factor, you forgot the quadratic formula, fine. Don't waste your time. You know what the problem is. Go to polynomial root finder. Okay, the first coefficient is 1. The second coefficient is 5. And the free term is negative 36. There is no need to do this, but in a situation, test, final exam, you don't want to waste your time. So the two solutions. So we cannot accept 4. We cannot accept 4 and negative 9. Simplify completely. So we know that every time we look at a power that is a ratio, a rational power, we know that this is a radical. So please remember, this is just a notation. So this is 32 raised to 2/5. This is a different way of writing the 5th root of 32 squared. So when you apply the 5th root first to 32, you get 2. 2 to the second power will be 4. Yes, again, in a test situation, I'm not teaching you to cheat, but in a test situation, anything can happen. So you just want to plug it in. The way I plug it in is not with the math and so on and so forth. I just plug it in as is. 2 divided by 5, and when I click, I have to get 4. 23. So here we are given a demand function and a supply function. So the demand is 18,100 minus 60x, and the supply function is 100 plus 6x, and they're asking us to find the equilibrium point. It's a very simple linear equation. 18,100 minus 60x equals 100 plus 6x. It's linear, so everything has to be on one side. I mean, x has to be on one side, negative 66x. And I go back to the other side and I have negative 18,000. So then x equals, and when I divide, what do we get? When we divide 18,000, I normally would do this. I would just divide by 3 and then divide by 2. It's very simple. But let's do this. So 18,000 divided by 66. And I'm assuming they don't want type 1 order pair, do not include the symbol. Did I copy something incorrectly? Yes, I did. I copied 6x instead of 60. My apologies. So this is negative 120. Okay, the other side is okay. But this side is negative 120x. Sorry about that. So let's try again. 18,000 divided by 120. Good, 150. And then I want to put in 100 plus 60x. And I plug in 150. So I got 9100. So the equilibrium point is 150, 9100. Good. 24. Find equation of the line tangent to the graph of this. Very good. This is a major topic, as you remember. So we have f of x1 minus 8x squared and 5 comma negative 199. So in order to determine the equation and this tangent, we have y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. This is our x1. This is our y1. But we need to determine the slope. Well, all I have to find is f prime of x and plug in 5. So this is negative 16x. So f prime of 5 is the slope. So negative 16 times 5, which is negative 80. That's all I need to do. I need to find the derivative. So we found the derivative as negative 16x. I have to plug in 5 in the derivative, and that is the slope of the tangent line to the graph of this function at this point. And this is what I need. So this will be negative 80. And now to determine the whole thing, I have to plug in those 3 numbers to determine the equation of the tangent line. So y plus 199 equals negative 80x minus 5. So y equals negative 80 x plus 400 minus 199. So y equals negative 80x and plus, what is it? So it's 1, 0, and 2. Yes. And this is the equation of the tangent line to the graph of 1 minus 8x squared at this point. And I think there was one more problem. 25. Accessories companies find the cost, okay. Find the rate at which the average cost is changing. Okay, so all we have to do is find the marginal cost. So we have C of x equals 780 plus 34x minus 0.067x squared. And when find the rate at which the average cost. So the cost is given to us, but they don't want how fast is the cost changing. They want how fast is the average cost changing when x is 176. So remember, it's that symbol, which is basically C of x divided by x. So 780 divided by x is simply 780 divided by x. 34 divided by x is 34. And this, negative 0.067x. So now I have to find this function prime. Remember, we just reviewed this. 1 over x prime is negative 1 over x squared. This prime is nothing, and this prime is negative 0.067. What do I need to do is one little thing. Put this function in the graphing calculator and plug in 176. That's all we need. So in y equals clear. So negative 780 divided by x squared, and then minus 0.067. That's it. And second in table, 176. So now we have to look and see what they want. Round to 4 decimal places. Okay. So first they're asking for the function in which we have to enter that negative 780, exactly what we entered in the graphing calculator, and then 4 decimal places. Okay, 4 decimal places. Negative 0.0922. So C prime of 176 is negative 0.0922. And the measurement unit, because it's going to ask us, it cannot be belts, it's a rate of change. It cannot be dollars. It cannot be dollars per belt, because, oh, of course it's dollars per belt. It cannot be belts per dollar, I meant to say. Of course it's dollars per belt. And it's decreasing. Negative 0.0922. Any questions?